Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Conversations. We are so excited to be back. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And now we are back with so much energy. So for those who are new here, Karibu Sana. We are so excited about our topic because I think it's going to be more of a debate. We have such diverse views on this, and it's basically about opposite sex friendships when you're in a relationship.
I need to choose my words very carefully. Do you think it's acceptable? Okay, not acceptable because nobody should be having the power to tell you
who you can be friends with and who you can't be friends
precisely
with.
Yeah, you should have that autonomy for yourself. But like if you're in a relationship, how would you feel if your person had a friend of the opposite sex, which it's okay, but they are very close?
So I think that it is very okay. It is very okay because chances are sometimes you come into that mix when you've already found them there.
Yeah.
So it's not like now you can be like, okay, like this is not acceptable to me. It's the same way like if you find a person with a 5-star forehead versus a small forehead, you can't tell them to change. If that makes sense.
Wow.
Like for me, I think it's okay because a person's friends, especially if they've been there, yes, I find it acceptable.
Okay,
Salma.
I'm not against it. Like I'm not against that at all. I agree with you because if you found them there, who are you as the new person? The only qualification.
I knew it was coming. She was being too nice, guys. I knew it was coming.
The only qualification for me is that we have to have boundaries. Yeah, we must.
Okay,
but we must
explain the boundaries, Salma.
Okay, so for instance, let me just give a practical scenario. Like I start dating a person and I find that this person already has like a best friend, a female,
who is a
best
female,
friend or very close friend. You know, they could be childhood friends or whatever. But now by the time I'm in the picture, boundaries have to be drawn. So whatever you guys used to do before me, like, yeah, you have to be there for your friend, of course. But like, you also have to realize that I'm in your life now. And who knows, if things work out, I will be your life partner. Your priorities have to adjust a little bit.
I mean, that I get in terms of like somebody now accommodating you into their life. What I think maybe you can shed some light on is what you mean by now boundaries. Like, how do these boundaries look like? Who is setting these boundaries? How does that process work?
I have so many things to say. I have to just pace myself. I have to pace myself. Okay, so in terms of boundaries, the person who sets the boundaries, first of all, is the person I'm in the relationship with. I feel like, personally, I find it very difficult to be the kind of person to tell you what to do.
But
like, I don't want.
How is a person supposed to know?
I think it's common sense. Like I don't want to be that kind of girlfriend who is telling you, okay, you need to keep your friends in check. Like, you need to be, like, I want it to come from you such that you're the one who is feeling on your own volition that, okay, now that I have a girlfriend, I need to be able to manage and to, make sure that we have a good balance.
But okay, Salma, let me just address a few things. And I think at this point, because I think we don't agree on this, maybe we'd really like to hear your views, guys. As you're watching, just comment and let us know. Because when you say that somebody, number one, is supposed to know that it's common sense, I think we all know that sometimes common sense is not so common. Especially if you're in a relationship with someone. Most people will say, especially for guys, like, you need to just spell it out to them. For sure, like, the guy has no, like, maybe he's even thinking, no, like, things are okay. So on that one, I genuinely think that it's always good to just tell someone, even though you think it's common sense.
Which comes to all, communication in a relationship and all that.
Yes.
But let me just tell you where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place where I don't want to be seen as the controlling girlfriend. You know what I mean? Or the girlfriend who is telling you what to do. Because you see, I don't want it to be taken as he's going to tell his friend, oh, I'm sorry, now we can't be doing XYZ because my girlfriend said so.
But you see, I think now when it comes to controlling, it also depends on how you communicate. So I don't think there's a problem with communicating with your person because you're different people. Even in a friendship, people are different. So even us in a friendship, or maybe you're just seeing me having an attitude, yeah? So I'll have to tell you, but it's also about how I communicate. You also have to be like, I need to let you know that I feel some type of way when this person calls you at 1 a.m. So I think in that sense, then the person now gets a sense and they're like, okay, I'm in a relationship now. And I think certain boundaries are being crossed. And
but don't get me wrong. You will know how I feel. Like, I will be very blunt. You know, I will tell you.
You're very
I will tell you this is unacceptable.
Yes.
Like, why, my sleep has been disrupted because of this person. But I will not go to that extra mile to tell you, I think you should do 1, 2, 3. Or how about if you can do 1, 2, 3? Or let her know that this is not okay. That's now the problem. It's like I draw the line there. Like, knowing how I feel, my friend, you will know.
Okay, so then what happens if you don't now say, you just show the person how you feel?
Yeah, I'm expecting for you to
and
tell.
And then they don't?
From my dissatisfaction. That is where I want your common sense to kick in. Because even in friendships, Maria, you will not find me telling you. Like, I'll tell you maybe how I feel about the situation, but I won't tell you what to do about it. Or I won't tell you, if you did this, I would feel better. I won't tell you.
I think...
it's a flaw.
I think, babes, let me help you. I think this is what you're trying to say, which I get. Because I've been in this situation before. I think some situations can come about where... a person, let's say, does something to you, and the people in your circle, the people who are close to you, like, they also know, like, this is happening. So, like, now in a relationship, if you're uncomfortable, and your person now knows you're uncomfortable. So I know there's that inner thing where, you're expecting someone to do the right thing. As in, you should just know that, like, this is not going to work out. But I think now here where the murky waters come in is where you're still talking about somebody who's been this person's friend. And chances are, these are usually like those childhood friends. Like, so it's very hard now to sort of, even for that person to
it will be a difficult choice.
Off. It's a difficult choice.
And it's not even to cut them off. It's just for them. That's the thing. It has to come from them. You know, when it comes from them, it's better because they're the ones who are going to find a sweeter, nicer way to do it. Because if it comes from me, it will look like I'm the third party, like I'm the person who has come in later. So then I'm telling these people how to be. I don't want to be seen as that person, and then I'll become the enemy. and then I have to live with this person for the rest of my life.
As somebody who has had close male friends,
that is another just okay. We can go into it now. Let's
speaking as someone who's come from there. My very first best friend when I was a kid, which you know, Salma, unfortunately he passed away when I was in high school. Was a male, and we were very, very close, and it did bring issues in my... No, I can't even call those relationships, because at that time you didn't even know what a relationship was. But it caused friction in my younger years because of how close we were. But I think for me, how I approach it is, there should always be a way for you people to find a way to make it work, such that no party is being made to feel like this new person has come in and now I'm being either treated like I don't matter, whatever. And also the new person should also be accommodated. Because for me, my first mantra is, if you're in a relationship with me and you can't seem to get along with my close friends, that already is a problem for me. That's how I look at it. Like, it's not like now I'll be like, Salma has to now accommodate this person I'm dating, because I'm like, Salma has been in my life for almost
and exactly, Maria, exactly the point. That's why I fear, if I was to say something, I don't want it to come from me, because I don't know how it will be taken. I could have all the best intentions, but I don't know how it's going to be received on the other end.
So you just like hold it in and then you go chop tomatoes loudly.
My friend, if you want to have a happy life, just do the necessary. But I will not tell you what to do.
But Salma, what if it was you?
Okay,
who was the friend?
By the way, let me tell you something, Maria. Because I know how I feel, like being the person in the relationship as the outsider. When I'm a friend, I fall back. I really do. Because I'm like, I know how that girl might feel. So I fall back. Like, I'm not going to be texting you all the time unnecessarily, or like having FaceTime.
That's understandable.
But you see, I don't want to put you in a position where you have to choose between her and me. And then you see, you are going to be telling her things like, but she's been my friend for the longest time. We've known each other's what. Our families, I don't want to be.
But Psalms, why must there be a choice?
It's not
why
a choice.
Can't you all just get along and be one happy kumbaya
You can,
family?
but men are not the smartest people. You can't. You see, that's the thing.
So what is the issue here? What if you get to know this woman who's your friend's who's your person's best friend, and you get along, and then you trust the person, and you're like, there's no shida here?
That's the ideal. Like, if we can be friends, that would be the ideal. You know what I mean? But if we are friends, let it not be twisted. We are not two girlfriends in this relationship. I am the girlfriend and you are the friend. You get what I'm saying? Like, in fact, if we are friends, so that we can have a smooth running of this, you know.
I am the girlfriend.
Let's not be twisted.
You are the friend.
Yeah, so if let's say we are saying let's have a date or let's have brunch, just because me and you are friends doesn't mean that now it's a three-way date. You know what I mean? Like, let there be boundaries as well. And you know, another thing also, Maria, to realize is girls get very insecure without even having. It's just, I don't know, it's how we are wired. Maybe he's not doing anything. Maybe he's just being the best person that he can be to both of us. But as a girl, I don't know. Naturally, you just feel insecure. And so, I don't want to make the other person feel insecure. So I'll just...
You know, I understand the falling back in terms of boundaries, like i.e. respect. I understand respect, and I'm not advocating for any.
Respect,
really. I'm not advocating for any form of disrespect when somebody's in a relationship. But at the same time, I think that you need to be prepared if a friend falls back on also what that might do to your relationship. You know why? Because yes, you're the girlfriend, and yes, you might be the love of his life, whatever. But everybody gives a human being different things. Things that you get from other people, yeah? So, like, of course, there are things I'll call you about that I won't tell my person, you know? And as much as, my person is also my best friend and we're good, but there are things that Psalms will get, or there are things that maybe a male friend I have who's been in my life will get. Maybe they know my childhood. I don't know. So I also feel like that falling back sometimes can also cause a rift in your relationship, because this person, remember, before you came into the picture, this is what they knew. Like, this is their life. Like, this is who they've been with. So even for them, when now they start feeling like you've also become their entire world, it might also be a situation where they feel caged.
Yeah.
You see?
Absolutely.
And that's not even your doing, by the way. You've just said, I'm uncomfortable about this thing. And then even the friend now, labda meogopa. And they're like, let me fall back. But now, that's what I'm saying, there just has to also be like a balance, so that the person that you've met is still them.
I agree with you and everything you said. And I completely agree, because I do not think that once you get into a relationship, that relationship should be your revolving sun.
Yeah.
You know, because you should always have friends outside that relationship, because that relationship might not be there forever. And these people also have been in your life. They have carried you through. You have shared moments and shared life together. So just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you cut off other people. I completely agree. And actually, you reminded me, there's a person I used to date who used to tell me the same thing, and I just couldn't understand. Like, he used to tell me, you need to realize that there are friends who give me other things. And I'm like, what other things?
I can even see you.
Yeah, what other things?
What other things?
Because I'm not understanding what other things are you talking about. So it's that, and I've come to realize, I guess now with like growing older and maturity and all that, it's true. Some people give you certain things, but that's the healthy friendship that I'm talking about. Let it be like that. Let it not be overbearing, that now this my person is also your revolving sun. So you want my person to also always be there for you, to the extent that it's also like infringing on our relationship. That's now where that's the problem that I have. But where it's a healthy friendship, where this person is there for you, like this person has always, there are things they can share with you or whatever, I'm happy with that. Cool. Keep that. In fact, it even helps me in my relationship, because it means that you are also getting fed, and you're a whole person. Like, you're a whole person being with me. You know what I mean? Because chances are I might not give you everything that you want. So healthy boundaries are key. In the same vein, okay, so we are talking about friends and everything, but then there's also just this separate concept of best friends. Like, how would you take it? Or maybe I'm using the wrong words. Let me not say take it, because I mean, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But would you be okay with your person telling you they have a best friend
who's of the opposite?
Yeah, like, leave alone friends.
Yeah.
Friends, we all have friends, but now they're coming to tell you they have a best friend.
I mean, yeah, because okay, this is the way I look at it. I'm assuming it's somebody, like I said, you've grown up together with, you've been together for many years, so that's why this is my best friend. Now, I think if I was dating a person and I came into a situation where this person has a best friend, number one, generally I would be okay with that. Now it depends on how like these two relationships are going to merge.
Yeah.
So, and I guess it's actually what you're saying. So it's not that I have an issue with you having a female best friend. I don't. Intrinsically, I really don't. Because there has to be a reason, and you come into things and you find things have already been put into motion. You can't now come in, unless it's your principle, you can't come in now and be like, me, I don't date people who have, unless that's now just you. Where a woman feels that the female best friend is getting all the attention that she would want to get, i.e. if your man has an issue, the best friend knows even before you know. Now the female best friend is being relied on for things that you want to be relied on for, and I think this whole thing about that is the main issue here. And I think that's where now the balancing sort of comes in, and that's also where I think he should know there'll definitely always be things that he will go to that person for. I don't think you can compete, or you shouldn't even try to compete with that, really. But I do agree with Salma when she says that there also now has to be an acknowledgement that you also now have someone in your life, and you need to also make them feel appreciated, and that you consider them, so the person also just doesn't feel like it's like this person already has everything they need. I think that's when now you start thinking, what is even my role here, So I think that's where, but intrinsically I don't think it's an issue.
For me, it's an issue, full stop. Yeah, best friendships, there's no justifying it for me. Maybe my views might change in the future, but I doubt. In fact, I think the older we get, it's like when we were younger is when we were very flexible over these things. The older we get, it's like, what is even best friends, like in a relationship? Yeah, for me, my views might change, but
I have been in a situation where I was first sort of like close friends or best friends with someone, and yes, it ended up metamorphing into
I didn't want to say I didn't want to say out loud, but that is exactly, do you know?
But it didn't metamorph when either of us, number one,
were in a relationship.
That's the first thing. At that time, it was just like friendship. But yes, and I still would not say, because of that example, that now like, best friendships are like, they'll always metamorph into something. I still wouldn't say that, because I still have people in my life who are very close, and it's very platonic. It's just friendship.
But now you see, it's because you have put a very conducive environment. You see, like, because
you have to set the boundaries.
Exactly. When you have such a conducive environment, you share, you're emotional. That's why, like, when somebody has a best friend, I feel like at some point, so it's like there's levels to it. There's platonic, then there's something like a bit more where you care for this person, but then it's like an extra for that person. You know what I mean? Like, you have friends, but then there are those friends who are, because there's an extra emotional feeling you have for them, and if the environment is right, it could materialize into a relationship. And when it does, by the way, it's so beautiful because you are friends first. So you know each other,
But you see also, Salma, if somebody has been friends with someone for 10 years and then you are coming now to be this person, why do you think that all of a sudden now the love is going to metamorph? The love would have grown.
And that's why the assurance for me should come from that person. It's that person to make that assurance to me and to draw the boundaries
so
for
the person should make you feel secure.
Exactly.
That there is no problem with the friendship.
Exactly.
And
Because
that's how I was saying the dynamics now need to be played around with.
Exactly.
But just before, babes, you move to the next thing, I just wanted to point out the thing now I have an issue with is where, you know how, okay, so you're dating someone, so now they make a friend as you're dating. Now this friend now becomes best friend.
That one, in fact, out.
That's the one I must say. I don't. Okay, and not that I have an issue with the friendship, because like me, I think I've been saying there's no issue with this. For me, there's no issue with this opposite sex thing. Have your friends, whatever. But now to the point that this person has become your best friend, and then now I'm being disrespected.
Yeah,
there's such a big problem. And if it's also a situation where now you, Salma, I introduce you to my person, then you become friends.
In fact, wait. Just before we go there,
yeah,
let's talk about whether you would have, when you have a friend, like a close friend, and then you have a partner.
Yes.
Would you put them in a hierarchy? In the sense that would you
I've never thought about it.
Yeah, would you have one person always be,
or like priority?
Exactly.
I think the way I look at things are the people who are close to me, like my friends, who are very few anyway, of course are dear to my heart. And I think things have to be assessed for me on a case-to-case basis. Like now, for instance, if it's a matter of priority and maybe there's an emergency, you see now, it also depends on the nature of the emergency. If let's say my friend is going through, I don't know, grief, you know, loss, or somebody is sick, some things that you can't even control, then in that situation,
then I
won't choose my friend, right? And that's just, I think, being a good human being. But then there are also situations where your partner needs you and you need to tell your friends, I'm sorry, but in fact, even for a few months, my person needs me, and that is what I'm going to tend to. So that's what I'd say about that. And I would expect either to understand, unless there's something wrong with you.
So everything you've said, I agree. Because the reason I was asking this question is I just wanted to point out how many of us, and I'm even speaking from experience, we tended to, I will say it in past tense because I don't think that's my belief now, but we tended to put romantic relationships over our friendships, right?
That's true. No, that's very true.
Yeah, which should not be the case. Yeah, you should really not have that relationship be everything, and you feel like you can now let your friends go, because you tend to lose yourself.
And like that's actually why I was saying, like for me, friendships are very important. And the moment like I'm with a person, especially for people who've been in my life, the moment I see that there's a disconnect happening with you and my people, it's something I would want to address. It's not something I would be like, oh, I found love, here is my Alejandro, and we are running into the sunset, and now you, my friends, you need to be happy for me. Because I think sometimes that's what we do when you're so infatuated with a person. Yeah,
it's so true.
In fact, your friends will look at you and they'll just be like,
why are you even saying me? Like, me, I know there's a relationship that I was in, where after that relationship, Maria was like, whatever you are on, girl.
It's true, Salma. Like, I actually believe you are not stable. And I've told her, I'm not even saying this way, but I've told you this before. Because she really was just a different person. And you see, for me, I could see that, maybe this relationship is not working, and it has nothing to do even with the person being a bad person or anything. Sometimes you just, two people meet and you're not good for each other. You're not really helping each other. So I used to see this, and of course Salma and I would fight a lot, as in constantly. And you see, for me, I was just like, well, my friend, let her go through it. I'll pick her when the time comes, and that's what I'm so big on friendships. I really think be very, very careful, even not just in a relationship, by the way, to be honest, anybody new who's coming into your life, be very, very careful when you start making decisions about, like who takes priority.
Yeah, that particular point where you're also prioritizing this person and this romantic relationship, whereas like it's going against your friendships, like other people who are outside this relationship who are more objective, who can see like
they see the things that you can't see.
You see, it's like you're just losing yourself and taking yourself into a place where
and that's when I usually tell you, sounds I don't believe in this thing for hiding your person from people.
Just know from our collective experience,
nataka kukuona in the light. In the light, because you see, when you're in love, you cannot see.
It's true, you can't see.
So
mad.
It is mad. You can't see. Mimi, I will bring you around whether you want, even without you knowing, by the way, so that my friends can also see who I'm around and who I am around that person. But now that brings me to what I was saying about now when this person becomes friends with people you bring into their life.
Okay, let me explain the situation. So the situation is where you are in a relationship, right? And you have friends, like you are supposed to, because you're a social person, you're a human being, you have friends, and because you are in that relationship, you would also like your person to mingle with your friends. And it's in, you
want them to
you want everybody to get along, right? But then you find that your person all of a sudden becomes very close to a friend of yours, like they've forged their own relationship, right? Which I don't think at the face of it is wrong. Perfectly okay.
Saying you want people to get along.
And also that's how people meet. You meet through people, right? But then the challenge now becomes where that relationship takes off without you. I think that's the best way I can say. Like it goes without you. For instance, you break up, then it's like now they form their own friends, their own friendship and their own friends group and their own, like now it's become a whole thing. And I'm like,
so maybe this is what I think. Like, number one, I think generally it's good for guys to intermingle. And I think it's also good to even try form, your own relationships with them, well and good, just to keep that synchrony together, because you're trying to build a life with the person you're dating, and that also brings in whoever they are with. But now for me, the issue with now this thing of bringing people into someone's life and then they start forming their own friendships, I think for me it's the respect thing I was talking about. Now, and I don't know if this is a principle thing for people, like maybe me, this is my principle and Salma might have a different principle, which is fine. But for me, I think that if I am bringing someone into your life and you're having this cordial relationship and everything, it can't be that Salma is my best friend and then suddenly you've become like homies with, my person, to the point that you are now like, you don't see eye to eye with me. You're choosing, things that, you never, like, I think there's that unspoken rule, even in friendships, that you're supposed to have my back. Like you're just supposed
that's it. It's
like
you are my friend. And it's not, I feel like now it's like we're in the playground and I'm like, you're my friend first. So are you.
And I know, it sounds petty. But it's not. And that's also where for me, that's now where I won't even say anything, because I genuinely think it's just that common sense, especially if you've been friends with somebody for a really, really long time. I don't expect that. But also, it's not that you're also trying to control your friends. And because even sometimes, by the way,
that's the thing, Maria, and that's why I have a problem with saying something, because it will always come out like you're trying to control.
But I still think it really cannot be that the line starts getting blurred to the extent that now you people have become bonded souls. That's very absurd to me.
My challenge now comes in, like where I've just said earlier, I have a problem saying it. Like I'll tell you I'm not happy about it, but I will not tell you don't be friends with this person. Like even like if I have been with someone, or like I've been dating someone, and let's say we break up, and let's say Maria got along with this person because I brought them together and they got along and they became good friends. You follow each other on social media, blah blah blah, and I like that. Like I want that to continue because I want you to be friends with my person. And then we break up, and then I'm not going to tell Maria stop now being his friend. and follow him
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Like
No,
I won't,
think
I
that's
won't.
also a bit
Yeah, I won't
extreme.
do that. I want
Yeah.
Maria, in her own common sense, to know that she is my friend. You know what I mean?
But-
and I'm not telling you
But also, Maria doesn't have to, block a person or unfollow
precisely,
them or those kind
and
of things.
also not that you don't continue to be cordial with
Yeah,
them. If you
yeah.
are to meet them, say hi.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh yeah, now that you've broken up with my friend, we can no longer see eye to eye. No. Say hi. You can have a chit chat or whatever, and then be on your way. Like, it's just, there needs to be, it's that thing you're saying, we can't blur the lines, because you're my friend at the end of the day. And in as much as
makes things
I don't
so
want to control you
weird.
and tell you not to be, it's like,
Because when people break
don't
up,
know.
like now, and first of all, people don't like being honest. So these are
Yeah.
even conversations that you'll find people don't even like having.
Yeah.
Because everyone is gonna be like, oh, I don't want to sound like I'm being controlling.
yeah, or oh
I
my
don't want
gosh,
to
you can't
sound-
believe Salma is not pissed at me because I'm still
Yeah,
friends with.
I-
Yeah, which is so true. And I think, like, yeah, it's that honesty thing, and it's also just that respect for your friends' feelings, because yeah, things become weird. And I don't know, maybe it's worked for some people, because you see also
No,
the
that's
instances
true.
where you break up with someone but you continue being friends, and you all continue being friends as a group. So in that case, I guess it wouldn't be so weird. But like, I don't know, maybe you guys, you can tell us what you think, but
Or-
that's from my
Or
experience.
maybe you can also give it time. Like in that instance where you're saying
Yeah,
we could be both
yeah.
in the same circle, and now even the friends now they're just like, now what do we do?
Yeah,
here?
we are like in a
We
in
can't
a middle
choose.
point where
Like we are all friends. I think that one I understand. Like, yeah, you really, but you've said a really important thing, Salma. Consider your friends' feelings sometimes. Like, don't just move and be like,
yeah, but but we are
yeah,
already friends.
I'm
so
independent.
yeah, so why
like,
would you not want me to be
don't
friends?
just
Like,
do things like without giving it some thought. Like sometimes, like, consider how a person would feel. Consider even delaying a decision and being like, let me have this party or showcase this thing on social media, whatever you do at a later stage. Like, always know, like, even where your friend is. Yeah, consider
maybe
people.
it's just a conversation that can fix it.
And you see also sometimes your friend might not be in the right frame of mind at that time to accommodate that relationship, just because of the emotions that are happening at the time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes just be mature enough to give it time and know how to move, how to navigate things. You don't
Yeah.
have to cut off ties now, but you'll know how to, swing and navigate things, so that when things have like chilled, I also don't want to do anything that would, affect you. And maybe by that time, if I'm talking to Salma after maybe months, she might even be like,
Yeah, at that point,
Atam
maybe I'm not
salimie.
even caring.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like,
yeah.
Atam salimie. But that's what I'm saying. It can't be the next day I'm telling
Yeah.
Salma, oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry he did that. But we've been invited. We are going.
That's very, very
It's a bit-
disrespectful.
And it's also so inconsiderate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's it, folks. But we wanted to mention that we are on the road to 200 subscribers. Our little car channel. Please subscribe. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you've been with us, actually there are people who you've been with us from the beginning.
Yeah, thank you so much for
supporting us.
following.
Even
Yeah.
during this break, you guys have been asking us like, where are you? How are you doing? Are you okay? Thank you so much. And yeah, see you next time.
See you, and share our videos with people who you think will enjoy. That
Yes.
will also help. Yeah.
All right,
Okay, bye.